Illinois Real Estate Exam Deeds and Title Questions. Question 1. Cameron and Drew both claim the same earnest money after a failed Illinois purchase contract. How should the broker view disbursement during Sydney's Champagne Commercial Suite file review? Option A. The broker should follow the contract, written instructions, or lawful dispute minus resolution process before releasing funds. Option B. The broker may give the money to the latter party. Option C. The broker must always keep the money as commission. Option D. The buyer automatically receives the money regardless of contract terms. The correct answer is option A. The broker should follow the contract, written instructions, or lawful dispute minus resolution process before releasing funds. Earnest money disputes require careful handling under the contract and applicable escrow rules. A broker cannot choose based on pressure, convert the money into commission without entitlement, or ignore the party's contract rights. Question 2. Two firms agree that one will serve buyers only in Chicago while the other will avoid that area and focus on Springfield. Which antitrust concept best fits during Logan's Joliet Farm parcel file review? Option A. Valid escalation clause. Option B. A market allocation. Option C. A leasehold estate. Option D. Statutory redemption period. The correct answer is option B. Market allocation. Competitors who divide territories or customers can create an unlawful market allocation scheme. Escalation clauses are contract tools, leasehold estates are possessory interests, and redemption periods relate to foreclosure law. Question 3. A seller receives $364,000 at closing, pays off a $76,000 mortgage, and pays $7,700 in seller closing costs. What are the approximate net proceeds during Kendall's Aurora single minus family home file review? Option A. $288,000. Option B. $356,300. Option C. $280,300. Option D. $83,700. The correct answer is option C. $280,300. Seller net proceeds subtract the loan payoff and seller costs from the sale price, $364,000 minus $76,000 minus $7,700 equals $280,300. The other answers omit one deduction or add deductions instead of subtracting them from the sale price. Stressed about your Illinois real estate exam? We can take Illinois real estate exam for you remotely and undetected. We always guarantee a pass and payments only after results. To send us an email, scan the code or tap the link in the description and let's get it done. Question 4. An unlicensed assistant named Alex is asked to explain offer terms to a buyer at an open house. Why is that risky during Harper's Evanston 2-flat building file review? Option A. Unlicensed assistants may perform every brokerage task if unpaid. Option B. Only title companies need real estate licenses. Option C. Licensed supervision converts negotiation into clerical work. Option D. Explaining or negotiating transaction terms can cross into licensed activity. The correct answer is option D. Explaining or negotiating transaction terms can cross into licensed activity. Unlicensed assistants may perform clerical or administrative tasks, but explaining terms, negotiating, or advising consumers may require a license. Being unpaid, supervised, or involved with a title company does not transform licensed brokerage functions into purely clerical work. Question 5. Casey prepares a price opinion for a seller indicator to help set a listing price. Which limitation should be remembered during Jamie's Oak Park condominium unit file review? Option A. A CMA or broker price opinion is not the same as a formal appraisal by a licensed appraiser. Option B. A CMA always creates a guaranteed sale price. Option C. A broker price opinion transfers title. Option D. A CMA eliminates all disclosure duties. The correct answer is option A. A CMA or broker price opinion is not the same as a formal appraisal by a licensed appraiser. A CMA or BPO can help estimate market price for brokerage purposes, but it is not a formal appraisal. It does not guarantee a sale price, transfer title, or remove disclosure obligations. Question 6. A small rental property has annual net operating income of $37,000 and an indicated capitalization rate of 8%. What value is suggested by the income approach during Rowan's Decatur townhome file review? Option A, $296,000. Option B, $462,500. Option C, $4,625. Option D, $231,250. The correct answer is option B, $462,500. The income approach using direct capitalization divides NOI by the capitalization rate. $37,000 divided by 8% equals about $462,500. The other answers multiply by the rate, treat the percent as a whole number, or cut the indicated value in half. Question 7. Taylor signs an exclusive brokerage agreement and expects the broker to present offers and assist with negotiations. Which Illinois topic does this resemble during Jordan's Elgin small apartment building file review? Option A, a deed restriction created by neighbors. Option B, a mortgage acceleration clause. Option C, a minimum services and duties under brokerage agreements. Option D, a tax appeal before the assessor. The correct answer is option C, minimum services and duties under brokerage agreements. Illinois state minus specific outlines test brokerage agreements, exclusive agreements, and minimum services. Deed restrictions, mortgage acceleration, and tax appeals involve different legal concepts rather than brokerage minus service duties. Question 8. A landlord uses a consumer credit report to evaluate Hayden's rental application. Which law commonly appears in property minus management screening questions during Casey's normal mixed minus use storefront file review? Option A, Truth in Zoning Act. Option B, Statute of Frauds only. Option C, Uniform Commercial Code bulk sales rules. Option D, Fair Credit Reporting Act. The correct answer is option D, Fair Credit Reporting Act. Tenant screening that uses consumer credit information implicates the Fair Credit Reporting Act. The other choices do not specifically govern consumer reports used to evaluate rental applicants.
Are you looking for AccuPlacer exam actual questions? Visit our website pokerexams.com to access AccuPlacer exam study guide with actual questions and answers. Scan the QR code or click the link in the description to get AccuPlacer exam answer key today.
Question 9. A property is worth $331,000 and has a loan balance of $117,000. Approximately how much equity does the owner have during Morgan's Carbondale vacant lot file review? Option A, $214,000. Option B, $448,000. Option C, $117,000. Option D, $264,800. The correct answer is option A, $214,000. Equity is the property's value minus debt secured by the property, so $331,000 minus $117,000 equals $214,000. The distractors add debt, report the loan balance, or use an unsupported percentage of value. Question 10. A managing broker supervising Drew discovers repeated advertising and trust minus account mistakes. Which responsibility is most directly involved during Taylor's Galesburg rental duplex file review? Option A, recording deeds for every buyer. Option B, supervision of sponsored licensees and brokerage compliance systems. Option C, issuing building permits. Option D, approving zoning variances. The correct answer is option B, supervision of sponsored licensees and brokerage compliance systems. Managing and sponsoring brokers are responsible for supervision, training, and compliance controls for sponsored licensees. Recording deeds, issuing permits, and approving zoning variances are handled by other parties or government offices. Question 11. Casey signs closing documents for an absent seller under a power of attorney. Which issue is most important during Riley's Moline Lakefront Cottage file review? Option A. A power of attorney automatically makes the signer the owner. Option B. No written authority is ever needed. Option C. The authority must be valid and broad enough for the act being performed. Option D. The broker may create authority by verbal approval alone. The correct answer is option C. The authority must be valid and broad enough for the act being performed. A power of attorney gives authority only if it is valid and covers the act being performed. It does not transfer ownership to the signer by itself, and verbal approval alone is not a safe substitute for proper written authority. Question 12. A buyer purchases for $285,000, makes a 15% down payment, and has $3,600 in closing costs. About how much cash is needed at closing before credits during Avery's Quincy Suburban Ranch home file review? Option A, $42,750. Option B, $3,600. Option C, $281,400. Option D, of $46,350. The correct answer is option D, $46,350. Cash needed combines the down payment and closing costs, 15% of $285,000 plus $3,600 equals $46,350. The other choices omit either the costs or the down payment, or subtract costs from the price incorrectly. Question 13. A brokerage wants to operate a virtual office location for Illinois consumers. Which compliance focus best fits the licensing outline during Cameron's Waukegan Commercial Suite file review? Option A, registration, supervision, and public-facing brokerage compliance for virtual or branch operations. Option B, avoiding all broker supervision because the office is online. Option C, replacing written brokerage agreements with website clicks only. Option D, advertising as an unlicensed technology company. The correct answer is option A, registration, supervision, and public-facing brokerage compliance for virtual or branch operations. Virtual or branch operations still require appropriate brokerage supervision and compliance with licensing rules. Being online does not remove supervision, written-agreement, licensing, or advertising requirements. Question 14. A buyer and seller dispute whether a custom chandelier stays with the property. Which test is most relevant during Drew's Belleville Farm parcel file review? Option A, whether the buyer likes the item. Option B, whether the item has become a fixture based on attachment, adaptation, agreement, and intent. Option C, whether the item is expensive enough. Option D, whether the broker wants it included. The correct answer is option B, whether the item has become a fixture based on attachment, adaptation, agreement, and intent. Fixture analysis looks at factors such as attachment, adaptation, agreement, and intent. Personal preference, price alone, or the broker's preference does not determine whether the item stays with the real estate. Question 15. A rental property has NOI of $27,000 and a value estimate of $330,000. Approximately what capitalization rate is indicated during Hayden's Chicago single-family home file review? Option A, 4.1%. Option B, 11.2%. Option C, 8.2%. Option D, 12.2%. The correct answer is option C, 8.2%. The capitalization rate is NOI divided by value. So $27,000 divided by $330,000 is about 8.2%. The other answers have the rate, add unsupported points, or invert the formula. Question 16. A licensee knowingly misrepresents a material fact to induce a buyer to sign. Which licensing consequence is most relevant during Parker's Springfield 2-flat building file review? Option A, automatic zoning approval. Option B, mandatory title insurance payout. Option C, a tax prioration credit only. Option D, disciplinary action for unprofessional or dishonest conduct. The correct answer is option D, disciplinary action for unprofessional or dishonest conduct. Knowing misrepresentation can trigger discipline because it harms consumers and violates professional standards. Zoning approval, title insurance payout, and tax prioration are unrelated remedies for this licensing misconduct. Question 17. A buyer reviews debits, credits, lender charges, priorations, and cash needed to close. Which document function is being tested during Reese's Peoria condominium unit file review? Option A, settlement or closing statement accounting. Option B. A zoning map amendment. Option C. A subdivision plat approval. Option D. A deed covenant creating a life estate. The correct answer is option A. Settlement or closing statement accounting. Closing statements organize transaction charges, credits, preparations, and cash to close. Zoning approvals, plats, and deed covenants do not perform the same accounting function. Question 18. A candidate is planning the broker exam schedule and wants to understand the Illinois minus specific portion. How is the state portion commonly structured in the current SCI bulletin during Alex's Naperville Townhome file review? Option A. 100 questions with 150 minutes allowed and a 70% passing score. Option B. 40 questions with 90 minutes allowed and a 75% passing score. Option C. 50 questions with 120 minutes allowed and a 74% passing score. Option D. 90 questions with 150 minutes allowed and a 75% passing score. The correct answer is option B. 40 questions with 90 minutes allowed and a 75% passing score. The Illinois broker exam has a separate state portion listed as 40 scored points, 90 minutes, and a 75% passing score. The 100 minus question 150 minus minute format describes the national broker portion. The 50 minus question 120 minus minute option reflects residential leasing, and the 90 minus question format applies to a different examination category.
Stressed about your AccuPlacer exam? We can take AccuPlacer exam for you remotely and undetected. We always guarantee a pass and payments only after results. To send us an email, scan the code or tap the link in the description and let's get it done.
Question 19. A consumer asks why a state real estate recovery fund might exist. Which purpose is closest during Blair's Rockford small apartment building file review? Option A. Guaranteeing every buyer a profit on resale. Option B. Paying all ordinary home repairs after closing. Option C. Providing a limited source of recovery for certain losses caused by licensee misconduct when statutory requirements are met. Option D. Replacing the need for broker licensing. The correct answer is option C. Providing a limited source of recovery for certain losses caused by licensee misconduct when statutory requirements are met. Recovery funds are designed as limited consumer minus protection remedies for qualifying misconduct minus related losses. They do not guarantee investment profit, pay routine repairs, or replace licensing and discipline systems. Question 20. Rowan passed the Illinois broker examination but delayed the license application for more than a year. What is the likely exam minus related consequence during Quinn's Bloomington mixed minus use storefront file review? Option A. The score remains valid permanently. Option B. The candidate becomes licensed automatically. Option C. Only a name minus change form is required. Option D. The passing examination result may no longer be usable for licensure. The correct answer is option D. The passing examination result may no longer be usable for licensure. The SCI bulletin states that candidates must apply for licensure within 1 year after passing the appropriate examination. A permanent score, automatic licensure, or a simple name minus change form would not satisfy the application requirement after the score validity window has passed. Question 21. A buyer pays for the right, but not the obligation, to purchase a property at a set price during a stated period. Which agreement is described during Sydney's Champaign vacant lot file review? Option A. Option agreement. Option B. Open listing only. Option C. Tax deed. Option D. Subordination agreement. The correct answer is option A. Option agreement. An option gives the holder the right to buy under stated terms without requiring the holder to exercise it. An open listing is a brokerage agreement, a tax deed relates to tax enforcement, and subordination changes lien priority. Question 22. An owner personally advertises and negotiates the sale of the owner's own vacant lot. Why is this usually treated differently from brokerage for others during Logan's Joliet rental duplex file review? Option A. Every owner must hold a broker license before signing a deed. Option B. Owners may generally sell or lease their own property without acting as licensed brokers for the public. Option C. The owner is automatically sponsored by the buyer's broker. Option D. The owner may collect commissions from other sellers without a license. The correct answer is option B. Owners may generally sell or lease their own property without acting as licensed brokers for the public. Real estate license laws typically regulate brokerage services performed for others, especially for compensation. An owner selling the owner's own property is not thereby representing the public as a broker, while licensing would be required to collect commissions or broker transactions for other owners. Question 23. An ad states only a very low monthly payment without giving required credit terms or context. Which lending minus advertising law is often implicated during Kendall's Aurora Lakefront Cottage file review? Option A. Rule against perpetuities. Option B. Fair Credit Reporting Act only. Option C. Truth in Lending Act and Regulation Z. Option D. Illinois Plat Act only. The correct answer is option C. Truth in Lending Act and Regulation Z. Regulation Z under the Truth in Lending Act governs many consumer credit advertising disclosures. The rule against perpetuities and plat laws do not govern loan advertising, and the FCRA focuses on consumer reports rather than payment minus ed trigger terms. Question 24. Kendall posts a social media ad for a listing near Decatur using only a personal phone number and no brokerage identification. Which issue is most likely raised by Illinois advertising rules during Harper's Evanston Suburban Ranch Home File Review? Option A. A licensee may advertise without any broker identification online. Option B. Only print advertising must identify a broker. Option C. Brokerage identification is unnecessary if the property address appears. Option D. Real estate advertising must identify the sponsoring brokerage in a compliant and not misleading way. The correct answer is option D. Real estate advertising must identify the sponsoring brokerage in a compliant and not misleading way. Illinois advertising expectations focus on protecting the public from misleading ads and making the sponsoring brokerage clear. Online ads are still advertising, and the property address or a personal phone number does not replace proper broker identification. Question 25. A seller receives an offer of $335,000 and responds with $338,000 plus a changed closing date. How should the seller's response be classified during Jamie's Oak Park Commercial Suite file review? Option A. A counteroffer that rejects the original offer and proposes new terms. Option B. A full acceptance of the buyer's original offer. Option C. A deed transferring title immediately. Option D. A lease option created by operation of law. The correct answer is option A. A counteroffer that rejects the original offer and proposes new terms. Changing material terms such as price or closing date creates a counteroffer rather than an acceptance. It does not transfer title, and it does not create a lease option unless the parties separately agree to those terms.